Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you believed about yourself, your thoughts, and your reality was never yours to begin with. What if I told you that your mind is not your own, that every thought, every fear, every desire has been carefully placed there to keep you asleep? Most people never question it. They live their entire lives trapped in a mental prison without even realizing the walls exist. But you're about to see something they don't want you to see. Stay with me until the end, because once you understand this, there's no going back. 1. The invisible cage you can't see but feel every day. Most people go through life believing they are in control of their actions, their thoughts, and their destiny. But what if I told you that this belief itself is an illusion? What if your mind has been carefully molded, shaped, and conditioned without you even realizing it? Let's take a step back and look at how this illusion works. Imagine you wake up one day and everything feels normal. You check your phone, scroll through social media, go about your daily routine, make decisions, interact with people, and yet something feels off. It's as if you're playing a role in a script that was handed to you. From the moment you were born, your mind has been trained, not to think for itself, but to follow a set of invisible rules. Rules about what's acceptable, what's possible, what's worth pursuing. Every thought you have, every action you take is filtered through these hidden programs that were not written by you. And yet most people never stop to question them. They live inside an invisible cage, not a physical one, but a mental one. A cage made of beliefs, expectations, and fears that they never chose, but were conditioned into accepting. The scariest part? You can't see the cage because it exists inside your mind, but you can feel it. You feel it every time you hesitate to take a risk, every time you feel unworthy, every time you hold yourself back from what you truly desire. But here's what they don't want you to know. The door to this cage has always been open. You were never really trapped. You were just taught to believe you were. 2. The illusion of choice. Who is really in control? Have you ever stopped and questioned whether the decisions you make each day are truly yours? Think about it. From the clothes you wear to the food you eat, from the career you choose to the way you react in social situations, how much of it is actually your decision and how much is pre-programmed behavior? Consider this. When you wake up, you think you're choosing to check your phone. But what if you were conditioned into that habit by years of repeated patterns, notifications, and social validation loops? When you crave a certain lifestyle, is it because you truly want it, or because society told you that's what success looks like? Your desires, your fears, your motivations, where do they really come from? The truth is, your mind has been hijacked. From childhood, you've been surrounded by influences, parents, teachers, media, culture, all subtly shaping the way you see the world. By the time you reach adulthood, you don't even realize that most of the choices you make are based on pre-existing mental scripts. And here's the shocking part. Even the way you see yourself is part of this illusion. You think you are this personality, this identity, this collection of traits and habits. But if all of those were shaped by external factors, then who are you really? Breaking free from this illusion starts with questioning everything, not just the world around you, but the thoughts inside your mind. Because until you do, you are not thinking, you are being thought. 3. Fear, the ultimate mental prison. Why do people stay in situations that make them unhappy? Why do they hesitate to chase their dreams, take risks, or step into the unknown? The answer is simple: fear. But let's go deeper. Where does fear come from? Is it a real thing, or is it just another illusion designed to keep you trapped? Think of the last time you were afraid to do something. Maybe it was speaking up, making a big life change, or going after something you truly wanted. The fear felt real, but was it? Here's the truth. Fear is not reality. It is a prediction your mind creates based on past experiences. It's your brain saying, "This might go wrong," and convincing you that imagined failure is as real as actual failure. But the most dangerous part, fear is self-reinforcing. The more you obey it, the stronger it becomes. Every time you hold back because of fear, you train your brain to believe the fear was justified. And before you know it, your world gets smaller and smaller until you're living inside a tiny self-made prison. But there's something fear doesn't want you to know. Fear is only powerful when you listen to it. The moment you challenge it, when you do the thing you're afraid of, fear loses its grip. Because here's the secret, fear is nothing but an illusion until you give it power. 4. The mind's greatest trick, controlling perception. Everything you experience, joy, pain, success, failure, it all happens inside your mind. Your mind takes external events and gives them meaning, and that meaning shapes your entire reality. Two people can experience the exact same event and interpret it completely differently. One sees an obstacle, the other sees an opportunity. One feels defeated, the other feels challenged. Same event, different reality. Why? Because reality is not about what happens to you, it's about how your mind processes it. And this is where the illusion gets even deeper. Your mind filters reality based on past experiences, conditioning, and subconscious beliefs. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as your mind allows you to see it. This means if you believe the world is full of opportunities, your brain will filter reality to confirm that belief. If you believe you're destined to fail, your brain will filter reality to confirm that belief. This is not magic. This is neuroscience. The question is, are you controlling your perception, or is your perception controlling you? 5. The escape, seeing through the illusion. So if everything you experience is shaped by your mind, how do you break free from the illusion? It starts with awareness. The moment you become aware that your thoughts are not absolute truth, but just mental projections, you gain power over them. The next time you feel doubt, fear, or hesitation, pause. Don't react. Instead, observe the thought like an outsider. Ask yourself, where did this thought come from? Is it true or is it just an assumption? Who benefits from me believing this? By simply questioning your thoughts, you create distance between them and yourself. And in that distance, the illusion starts to crack. Because once you realize that the prison was never real, you are free. 6. The illusion of time, the greatest lie your mind believes. Time. We all think we understand it. We divide it into hours, days, years, past, present, future. We schedule our lives around it. We measure our progress against it. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, is time even real? You might say, of course it is. I can see the clock ticking. I can remember yesterday. I can plan for tomorrow. But let's break this down. When you think about the past, where does it exist? Not in the world, only in your memory. When you think about the future, where does it exist? Not in reality, only in your imagination. And yet our entire lives are controlled by these two non-existent places, the past, which we cannot change, and the future, which we cannot predict. But here's the biggest lie. Time is not something happening to you. It is something your mind constructs. Society has conditioned you to believe that. You're running out of time. You must constantly plan, strategize, and worry about what's next. You must regret and analyze the past to avoid making mistakes again. But what if all of this is just another illusion? Look around you, right now. This moment is the only thing that actually exists. The past is a memory. The future is a projection. The now is all there ever was and ever will be. And yet most people never live in the present. They keep chasing something. Money, success, love, thinking, one day I'll be happy. But that one day never comes because their mind is always looking ahead, always searching, always stuck in the illusion of time. But the ones who see through it, they wake up. They stop postponing life. They stop running from the past. They stop fearing the future. They realize the only power they have is now. The moment you break free from time thinking, you break free from an invisible prison you never even knew you were trapped in. 7. The ego. The voice in your head. That isn't you. Who are you? No, really, who are you? You might say your name, your job, your personality, your opinions. But I have a shocking truth for you. None of those things are actually you. You've been tricked into believing that the voice in your head is who you are. But think about it. Where did that voice come from? Was it always there? Did you create it? Or was it programmed into you? The ego is the biggest illusion of all. It is a mental parasite, a collection of thoughts, fears and desires that act like you, but are actually just a construct of the mind. Here's how the ego works. It tells you who you are based on past experiences. It tells you what you should fear based on survival instincts. It tells you what other people think of you even though it has no proof. But the truth is far more shocking. You are not the voice in your head. You are the observer, the watcher, the silent awareness behind the noise. Think about it. If you can hear your own thoughts, then who is listening? Most people never realize this. They live their entire lives controlled by an identity they didn't even create. They react, they defend, they seek validation, all because of a mental program running on autopilot. But once you see through it, you can never go back. You realize that nothing in life is personal because the self you thought you were was never real. And the moment you detach from the ego, you become untouchable. No insult can offend you. No failure can define you. No fear can control you. Because you are not the thoughts. You are the silent observer behind them. And once you see that, the illusion shatters. 8. The system. How external forces control your mind. The world is not what you think it is. Since the moment you were born, you have been programmed. Not by accident, not by chance, but by a system that benefits from your blind obedience. Think about this. Why does school never teach you how to think critically, but only what to memorize? Why is mainstream media designed to keep you afraid and distracted? Why are people convinced that happiness comes from money, status, and validation? Because the moment you realize the truth, the system loses control over you. Most people live their entire lives like puppets, following a script they never wrote. Go to school, get a job, work 40 years, retire and hope you're happy. But what if this was all by design? What if you were never meant to question? What if the entire system was designed to keep you trapped in an illusion, thinking you're free, when in reality, you're just another gear in a machine? And the worst part? Most people defend their own captivity. They laugh at those who question reality. They mock those who seek truth. They are so deeply hypnotized that they will fight to protect the very thing that enslaves them. But the ones who wake up, they don't obey, they don't react, they don't follow the script, because they see what's really happening. And the moment you see the illusion, you can never be controlled again. 9. Breaking free, the power of awareness. You've seen the illusion. Now what? Here's the truth. Waking up is not the end. It is only the beginning. Because the world will still try to pull you back in. The ego will still whisper in your ear. The system will still bombard you with distractions. But now you know the truth. So how do you break free? Permanently. Stop reacting. Every reaction strengthens the illusion. Observe, but don't engage. Detach from the false self. Every time the ego speaks, recognize it as just a voice, not you. Turn off distractions. Social media, news, noise, all of it is designed to keep you hypnotized. Be present. The mind lives in the past and future, but real life happens now. Think for yourself. The greatest power you have is independent thought. Use it. The more you practice awareness, the more the illusion loses its power over you. And one day, you wake up. 10. The awakening. The final truth that changes everything. Now let me ask you, what happens when the illusion collapses completely? What happens when you no longer believe the lies? When you stop living for validation? When you see through the false identity? You become free, not in the way society defines freedom, but truly, mentally free. The world will not change, but your perception of it will. You will no longer react, you will no longer be controlled, and you will no longer live in fear. Because you will know the truth. You were never trapped, you were only asleep. And now, you have awakened. Everything you thought you knew is only the beginning. Now that you've seen through the illusion, what happens next? The answer is waiting for you. If this video opened your mind, you need to watch the next one on the screen right now. It goes even deeper, revealing the next layer of the illusion that most people never uncover. Click it now before the system pulls you back in.